The box office numbers for Jurassic World Rebirth are out, and it is quite interesting to report this. Now, this film has made more than its estimates I projected late last week. I said this film was heading to around 80 million, into the weekend, and all of a sudden it shot up in the weekend, and we have a bigger number as we speak. So in its first 3 days, it did $91.5 million. That's the estimates right now. It could go up slightly. Maybe it could be at the same number by the end of today. 91.5 million is not that amazing because it's still on the lower section of things in the Jurassic World franchise right now, but I will go over the comparison to the other previous films in this video. Now, the overall 5 days in its US opening is $147.3 million. Now, that is good. That is actually a good opening weekend. But one of the biggest kicks is the international numbers because it opened quite huge in the international markets. You're looking at a massive $171 million worldwide. When you now add it to its US numbers, you are looking at $318.3 million. This is what it did in its first weekend. Now, if we are looking at these kind of numbers, you will say it's fantastic because already it's beat out movies like Lilo and Stitch and a Minecraft movie. Now, Lilo and Stitch is currently at $972 million, and it's on pace to get to at least $1 billion when it's all said and done. Minecraft crossed $950 million. It could not get to $1 billion, but it was a very close call in that $1 billion territory. So will this be able to get to $1 billion? That's the biggest question heading into this coming weekend, because you now look at Superman that is actually going to make his debut this weekend. We have to now see if it can actually compete with Superman. That's another different discussion here. But if we are looking at other films that actually stayed in the top 10 this past weekend, F1 had a bit of a considerable drop. It actually did $26.1 million. You're now looking at a total of $109.5 million. I've said that this film would end up losing money for the studio. Yeah, even though it earned 144 million in its first weekend, I just don't see it making back its budget. How to Train Your Dragon is still kicking at 11 million in third this weekend. It is now at a total of $224 million. Elio made $5.7 million. Now you're looking at a total of $55 million. 28 years later made 4.6 for a total of 60.2 million. Lilo and Stitch is still in the top 10 with 3.8 million, with a total of 408.5 million. Megan 2 is a massive disaster for the studio. It made only $3.8 million. It fell very badly. You're looking at a total of 18.6 million. Mission Impossible made 2.7 million for a total of 191.2 million. Materialist made 1.3 million for a total of 33.5 million. The fact here is that we have to now look at the international number breakdown for Jurassic World Rebirth, because the film did well in so many other countries, like China, for instance. It made $41.5 million in China. It made $16.6 million in the UK. It made $13.9 million in Mexico. Germany is 7.5. Korea is 7.4 million. Spain is 6.5 million. Australia is 5.9 million, India is 5.5 million, France 5.3 million. So internationally, total, like I said before, is $318.3 million. But then again, we have to now start breaking it down. Is it a great number? Because it's a good number if we're looking at the grand scheme of things here. We have to actually see if it's a great number. Yes, it beat out a Minecraft and Lilo and Stitch, but is it bigger than other Jurassic World films? Now that is a debate right now because other Jurassic World films opened to a 3 day opening. That is something you need to understand here. They opened to 3 day opening, and that isn't amazing by any stretch. What I'm getting at here is that this film, for instance, if we look at Jurassic World 2015, that film opened to $208 million in its 3 day in the United States. You have to now also look at Jurassic World opening. You are looking at 200 and $258 million in its first 5 days. That's around $350 million in today's money conversion. But even without inflation adjusted, what I'm more so interested in is how much this film has the potential to earn in the long run, because there are other projects like, for instance, if I'm not mistaken, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I think that film ended up with $391 million, no, $390 million in its first weekend. So that is another thing we have to now look at. And that's in its first 3 days. So we have to start looking at if this is even on the same level as those other previous films that ended up with $1 billion. So no, I'm not taking anything away from Jurassic World, Rebirth. I'm not taking anything away. This is a huge opening weekend. It really opened very well. There is no way I will take that away from it and say that, oh, it didn't open so well or something like that. It did open very well. It really did open very well. In fact, they even beat out the previous Jurassic Park franchise, like Jurassic Park 3, that made 81.4 million. The Lost World Jurassic Park made 74.7 million, but those are not accounting for inflation. It even beat out Jurassic Park, the original Jurassic Park, at $50.2 million. So you now have to look at all this, and you start comparing it to the other films in this particular universe, whereby you have the Jurassic World that made 208 million, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom made 148 million, Jurassic World Dominion 145 million, and then you have this new Rebirth at 91.5 million. So I'm not saying that it's terrible, but the fact that it made way less compared to these other previous films from the new generation of Jurassic World isn't that incredible. Now, second weekend drop is going to be very interesting. I don't know whether it can hold up very well this coming weekend because of Superman. I'll go over more about Superman because I have a feeling Superman is not going to do very well when it's make his debut this weekend. But then again, let's get to this weekend, or at least get closer to the weekend, maybe by Thursday. I will go more into details about Superman because I have a feeling Superman will underperform really badly this coming weekend, and we will have a situation whereby this is going to be a big conversation in the media for everyone. So guys, share your thoughts down below. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I'll see you guys very much next time.